Hello and welcome to Battle Streams of Middle Earth and to Damian's hobby vlog number 10, I think. And now this is going to be something a little different. Now, down the bottom you can probably see that it says something along the lines of Project Dale 2, and then maybe it gives you a hint about what's to come, saying Dale in a Day or Dale Day or something like that. I haven't quite worked out what it's called, but give you a recap of where we are. I'm currently trying to work on my Dale project to get it ready for Warhammer World Doubles. To give you some situation of the time, it is currently the, technically it's the 12th, it's Tuesday the 12th of July, and Warhammer World Doubles on the 30th and the 31st. So 2.5 weeks away, I'd say, really, because I'm going to leave on the Friday, so I've got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night. So yeah, 2.5 weeks away, I'd say. And I started part 1 of this on my last hobby vlog. I started 2 weeks ago. So if you haven't seen my last hobby vlog, which was Project Dale 1, go and watch that, because it will make far more sense. I'll talk about the project. But this is the continuation of that. So yeah, I'm kind of right at the midway point. And my guys who are here, I'm not sure how well he'll show up here, they've had no more work on them done. I've literally actually just recorded the end of the last clip, so these are kind of back to back. So if you've watched the last hobby vlog, you'll know how far they are. I'm enjoying, in short summary, I'm enjoying working on them. I've made lots of progress, but there's still a long way to go. To give you some idea, I still need to highlight the cloak trim completely. I need to do the fur completely. I'm halfway through the gold. I need to do the coats, the main kind of jackets. And then there's a bunch of bits, things like scabbards and fletchlings and stuff like that for the arrows. So there's still a lot of work to go, without a shadow of a doubt. But I'm still feeling good about it. And the reason I'm feeling good about it is I'm about to do something very, very different that I've very rarely done. It is, as I said, July, and for me, my work is a little easier at this time of year. And so I get this slight chance to maybe take a bit of time where I can do some hobby time, which I just can't during term time. I'm a lecturer, if you don't know. And so that's what I decided to do, to dedicate some time for it. And my I've got two motivations for this, really, for what I'm going to try and do. One is that I have to do it for doubles, so I've got to get this guy's painted. But the other one is that I've got a day. I can focus a day on this. And I had a lovely memory of going back. I'm going to take you back in time, over 2 years ago now, to May 2020. And of course we were in the middle of the first big lockdown still. And I think by that point we were realising that this COVID thing was around to stay, and everyone was feeling pretty miserable. And there's no way that COVID-19 wasn't a dreadful kind of shit show for everyone. It was horrible. But there were, as we've all said, some senses of light in the dark, where some good came from it. And one of the things for me was Andy Serkis's Hobbitathon. Now, I'm sure a lot of you already know what this was, but on the 8th of May 2020, Andy Serkis read The Hobbit live over YouTube. He did it to raise money for charity for Best Beginnings, which is a wonderful charity that aims to give children the best start possible in life. And he read the whole of The Hobbit in a day. It took him about 11 hours. And I remember at the time, I think it was on a Friday, and I remember saying this to Emma, my wife. I was like, I really want to listen to this and really, really listen to it. And, can I have a day off kind of daddy duty? And we only had one daughter at that point, so maybe it wasn't quite as big a deal. But at the time, you got to remember, we know what happened now, but it was just this day. It was an event. It wasn't being recorded. You weren't going to be able to watch it. You either, back afterwards, you either watched it and listened to it on the day, or it was gone forever. And I was like, I want to do this. And it was the sort of thing that only happened because of the pandemic. It just never would have happened otherwise. But HarperCollins gave him permission. And so on that Friday, I remember sitting down and basically painting for a day while I listened to it. And it was just brilliant. Now I had lunch and stuff, and you miss a few bits here and there, but I managed to listen to the vast majority of it over the course of 11 hours, and it was just wonderful. I'm not too big to admit it made me, it felt special, and I got really emotional about it. I remember we watched the end of it. We watched it with my wife and my daughter. We all sat on the sofa for the last chapter and kind of watched it together and listened to it. And I got a tear in my eye because it genuinely felt like a kind of magical moment, a kind of something that was only ever going to happen once in a lifetime. And we were all together as a family, and it was cool. And I got to spend the day hobbying, which was cool. I did about, I think, 8 hours of painting or something while I listened to it, which was just brilliant. So, I'm going to do it again. As we all know now, since then, Andy Serkis went on to record an audiobook for The Hobbit, and he's since gone on to do Lord of the Rings, which no one knew was going to happen at the time. It's just been a wonderful, wonderful thing to come out of this whole process, as well as the fact that he made an awful lot of money for charity. And so, my plan is to do it again, to listen to The Hobbit in a day and paint along to it in a day, because I've got the chance to do that. So, the recorded Hobbit, Andy Serkis' audiobook, is 10 hours 25 minutes, and I have to add a caveat here that I can't actually paint all day. Even taking a day off work, I still can't, because I still have to do kind of school runs and pick the kids up. So the reality is, my full day, I'll get back from the school run about 9:30 a.m. I'll then have to leave for the school run about 3:30. So that's 6 hours. And of course, that isn't 6 hours, is it? Because you need to make tea, you need to have some lunch and that. So I'm going to optimistically say that's about 5 hours. And then from about, that from that 3:30 where I'm with my kids, and then dinner time and bath time, it's going to be until about 9 p.m, I reckon, before I can start painting again. And then what's a sensible amount of time to go to bed? 12. So that would be 3 more hours. So I think I'm at about 8 hours. So I'm 2.5 hours short. So suddenly you start thinking, okay, what stupid things could I do? And I was like, I could easily. People know I'm a bit of a night owl, but I reckon I could make it till 1. But painting till 2:30 in the morning seems a bit stretched, a bit unpleasant sitting right here. And so, welcome to tonight. As I'm recording this, it's just ticked over midnight. That's why I said it was Tuesday. So it's actually it's 5 past midnight at the moment, on Tuesday morning. And so my plan is to start today, now, before I go to bed. Huh? Clever, right? So I've got the audiobook here. As you'll see, hopefully you can see that it says 10 hours 25 minutes left. But if I go into chapters, an unexpected party is nearly an hour long. An unexpected party is 55 minutes long. So that I'm going to paint that now. When I cut this, I'm going to do an hour's worth of painting now. That'll give me an hour into the book. I'm then going to go to bed. I'm then going to hopefully do my 5 hours in the day, my 3 hours in the evening, and that will get me about 9 hours, and then I'll make a call on it. So about midnight tomorrow, I should be about 9 hours into the book, and I think if I am, and I'm somehow still human, I might well paint until 1:30 in the morning and finish it. But we'll have to see. The likelihood is I think we won't quite make it. But that's my plan. I'm going to paint Dale relentlessly for as much as I can of the 10.5 hour Hobbit audiobook over the next 24 hours. The goal is to finish the Warriors. There's a long way to go on them. There's still a lot to do, but that's my hope. If I can finish this vlog and those Warriors are done, I'll consider that a job really well done. What I've also been doing is keeping track of how long everything takes. So I think I said at the end of the last vlog, I'm about 12 hours into the process at the moment. So basically at the end of this, I'm going to know, as I said, I hope they're finished, but that's 22 hours-ish to work on those, which means I then know that my down nights are going to take me 22 hours-ish over the next 2 weeks, and I'll have to plan for that. But that's the plan. I do actually, on the off chance I was feeling really optimistic, last week, I have assembled and sprayed and undercoated my down nights. So if somehow this all goes really quick and I finish them in advance, I can start working on the next batch, but I don't think that's going to happen in all honesty. And I'll be very happy if I can just get these guys done in the day. So that's my plan, and I'm really excited about it. The other thing I'm really excited about is just listening to The Hobbit all the way through in a day, which I don't get to do a lot. Or I say a lot, I don't get to do ever. And so I think I'll be checking in with you throughout the day, and maybe even like kind of offering a few little bits of commentary or whatever on The Hobbit and the audiobook and those kind of things, just to keep me sane and talk to someone essentially. So there we go. That's the process. I'm going to jump into an unexpected party now. I will probably check in before before I go to bed. As you'll know if you watch the last vlog, I'm part way through the gold stage and it takes a long time, so I'm going to say I'll be happy if in an hour's time when I finish an unexpected party the gold highlight layer is done on the warriors. That's what we're going to aim for. So yeah, I hope this sounds fun. I hope it's fun for me, but I hope it's fun to watch along as well, and might be the sort of thing you guys try out yourself if you find yourself with kind of a spare day. So wish me luck, hope it goes well, and let's get stuck in. And here we go.
This is Audible. HarperCollins presents The Hobbit, or There and Back Again, by J.R.R. Tolkien. Read by Andy Serkis.
Oh yeah. So it's time for the first update. I stayed awake. We finished an unexpected party. It's just coming up to 1:30 in the morning, and I've been painting, and it's gone well. So obviously not too much to show you by way of the models, but let's see if there's anything. That looks like it's completely black to me, but I managed to get the gold area done, so they've all had all their gold trim highlighted, and I've also managed to start work on the fur. So the fur goes around their helmets, it goes around their cuffs, their wrists, sorry, and it goes around the kind of their knees. And so I've given that a coat of Corvus black as well, because I'm going to go with a darker grey. And whilst I know you can't see it on there, let's see it on the off chance anything comes up. You might be able to see it at some point. I really like it, popping the grey in between all the other reds and browns. I think really kind of sets them off as opposed to making the fur brown. So there we go. It's good progress, and it's a good start to the project. Unexpected Party's brilliant, isn't it? It's really good. It's so lovely. Kind of hearing that scene. I love Peter Jackson's film of it and what they do in Bag End, but it's a great story, and it's really interesting kind of hearing the differences. I do wish they'd included the dialogue about the when he says good morning, good morning, good morning. He says he has that whole bit about what an awful lot of things you do use good morning for now. You mean that it won't be good until you've got rid of me. And there's also the fact that he says to him, in the film he does the I beg your pardon, and Bilbo says I beg your pardon twice. And then Gandalf's got that great line, for the sake of your mother Belladonna, I will give you what you asked for. And he goes, I haven't asked for anything. He goes, yes you have, my pardon, I give it to you. And I love that line, and I can't for the life of me understand why they didn't include it in the film when they've they set it all up with the my pardons, but it's nice. Yeah, so it's great. So Bilbo has he's just woken up at the start of the roast mutton chapter. He wakes up and Gandalf comes to see him, obviously very differently to how it happens in the film. Gandalf comes to visit him and kind of shows him the note and pushes him out the door, and that's where we are. Bilbo is off on his adventure, much as I am off on my own adventure. So Bilbo kind of goes to sleep with dwarf music going around in his head, dreaming of adventures, and then wakes up for an exciting day, and I too am about to go to sleep, and with dwarf music no doubt going around in my head, and we'll continue with the project tomorrow. So I'll check in with you tomorrow morning for our first session of the day. But yeah, see you then. Happy Dale Day! Here we are. It's 9:40 in the morning. I am back from the school run. And raring to go. So quick update, last night as I headed to bed after the victorious unexpected party, I decided to put on the dramatised version of The Hobbit to fall asleep to. So I went and listened. I liked the idea where it said where Bilbo goes to sleep with the sounds of dwarf singing in his voice in his head, and I wanted to do the same. So I put on that classic BBC adaptation of The Hobbit, which I dearly love despite the slightly ropey song. That was kind of my first, I know it's not a live action film, but that was my first memories of kind of a dramatic adaptation of Tolkien's work, and I still, that Gandalf for me and that Bilbo is just perfect. And I only made it for about 10-15 minutes I think before I fell asleep, but it was so good to kind of go back there. If you haven't checked it out, I really would recommend it. The way the narrator takes on some of the exposition at the start gets turned into dialogue between the narrator and Bilbo, and it's really good. And he's a fantastic Bilbo and a fantastic Gandalf. And the way he sees, there's a line where Bilbo sees Gandalf and he goes, "Ah, Gandalf," at one point. And that's still how I say Gandalf these days. Whenever every now and again I go Gandalf, it's all because of that version. So yeah, that was cool to get that chapter. But of course today isn't about the BBC's adaptation. Today is about Andy Serkis's audiobook version. And here we go. Not only do we have the normal excitement, but and quite frankly incredible news on Dale Day 2020. I got a package relating to Dale Day 2020. Oh yes, check this bad boy out. These are our bases. These are custom bases. I'm not sure how well they show up there because of the light, but custom bases lovingly created by my partner Adam, who posted them down to me. He's made the bases for us so that our army is consistent. It's really dark up there. Sorry, it's probably because I've got a light on here. I just wonder if I knock this off, is that going to wake up and make the light a bit better for you? Or is that madness? What if we turn this on? What do you think? How's that? Seems to be bad, whatever I do, but I think maybe that's the best of it. Hopefully see there you've got a bit of kind of cork on there. Bit of cork, and this is meant to be the kind of ground outside Erebor. And so Adam's going to have his Iron Hills Dwarfs, half the army on these, and he sent these through for me to put my Dale Warriors on. And I can't believe they turned up today. It's awesome. So potentially by the end of the day, if things go really well, could I even stick them on? I don't know if I will, because I want to... the Dale Knights are probably a bit wider stance, so I should probably start with gluing those on once they're finished, but who knows, I might not be able to avoid the temptation. But yeah, bases arrived, which is awesome. Not only that, Adam sent snacks. Got some buttons, I got Freddo, so these are going to be Dale Day snacks. These are going in the fridge, and they'll help me through the tricky afternoon sessions. And I also got this wonderful little note, which was Map of the Lonely Mountain, and he said, of course, see you here. And on the back, it says, all my bases belong to you, or these 20 at least. Get painting. Love from Adam. P.S. Best partner ever? Maybe. So I'm going to take this advice, and I'm going to get painting. I've skipped ahead, I've looked ahead on our audiobook, and as I said, I've now got a kind of 6-hour block before I have to go and pick the girls up. And if I'm really optimistic, I reckon I might get about 5 hours of painting done in that to kind of doing. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I've already nailed a Mackey's breakfast, which I don't normally do, but I've had that to keep me going for a while. And I looked ahead and kind of counted the chapters, and I reckon about 5 hours gets me to the end of Flies and Spiders. So if I can finish Flies and Spiders in this kind of day sitting, that would be great, and that's about 5 hours worth of work. I'm on roast mutton now, and my rule for the day is that I can only get up at the end of a chapter. Failing like a disaster. If the house catches fire or something, I'll get up. So I'm looking ahead, and I've got half an hour for roast mutton and 20 minutes for a short rest, and then 25 minutes for overhill and underhill. So we're in about an hour and a half for those three. So I might make a cup of tea after a couple of those, and I might stop for lunch. I'm going to try and stop for lunch after Riddles in the Dark, which is in about 2.5 hours time or something. So we'll see how we get on there. But yeah, that's my plan. The first big block is roast mutton, a short rest, overhill and underhill, and Riddles in the Dark. And we're going to try and get through that. My first block of painting, which will be the first couple of chapters, I'm going to try and finish the gold and keep working on the fur. That's my plan. Finishing the gold is the Guilliman flesh, kind of shading area on the red patches, and then a Seraphim sepia glaze on the rest of it, and then just some highlights on the fur. So that's what I'm going to start working with, and then once we've hopefully smashed those bits out, we can have a bit of a rest and figure out what we're going to do next. Okay, so Dale Day 2022, it's on, let's go. Alright, so time for an update. It's gone well, been painting a lot. I've gone further than I thought I would without a meaningful break. It's currently just coming up to 2 o'clock, and I've been painting fairly relentlessly. I've stopped for a couple of cups of tea. But I'm just about to have lunch now. I said I was going to try and reach Riddles in the Dark and then have lunch, but I just powered on through because I was mid-stage. And so I'm now just coming up to the end of Queer Lodgings with Bayonne. So it's about 3.5 hours of painting that I've done so far. And as you'll remember, the hope in this daytime slot was to do 5 hours. That was sort of best case scenario. So we'll see how we get on. It's been good. I'm enjoying it. It's nice listening to it all the way through. It's so cool having gone from like roast mutton all the way through now the whole of Unexpected Journey essentially, and to come out the other side with Bayonne. And it's just fascinating. Like I'm a big defender of the Hobbit films. I like them a lot, and I think I now watch the Hobbit films more than I read the book, so my kind of default opinion of them are coloured more by the films in a lot of ways. But it's really interesting hearing all the subtle little differences that I think you can forget about. There's a reference to how how as they're passing, as they're on the way to the Troll Shores, the people that live there don't recognise the king. They don't know who the king is, and obviously, you know, this is pre, you know, the Third Age of Middle Earth really emerging when Tolkien writes this. But you know, there obviously isn't a king in the era of the Hobbit. But that's a kind of interesting thing. I think the Troll Shores section is wonderful as always. I think that's fairly faithful in the films. It's wonderful seeing the how much the animosity between the dwarves and the elves is built up in the films. It's not really in the book at all. You know, they don't have any issue going to Rivendell. They don't have any problem with Elrond. You know, it says that dwarves and elves don't really get along, but that's it. So that's another kind of layer that the filmmakers added to it, I think, which is really wonderful. I love the Goblin helmet. It's cool, and Gollum was brilliant as always. Great listening to Andy Serkis do Gollum. It's really cool. And then the kind of the eagles and the kind of enhanced eagle section where they get to stay with them for the night on their eyries, and the eagles chat to them and all that sort of stuff, which is obviously kind of extended. And they're just getting to Beorn at the moment and having a chat with Beorn. He's just headed off, which is fun based on the Beornings kind of coming out at the moment. It feels very, very topical. There's even a reference to the Merry Land of Dale, which I thought was particularly pertinent. So it's been a lot of fun. So I've got to a decent point now where I'm going to stop. I'm going to swing the camera so you can actually see where the models are, so how they're getting on in a moment. But as I said, I'm 3.5 hours in. I'm now going to have a bit of a break for some lunch. And then my hope, it's going to be a bit touch and go, but my next chapter is an hour long, which is Flies and Spiders, which, if you remember it this morning, is where I said I wanted to get to. I can't, in all honesty, see me get through the whole of Flies and Spiders, probably. But I'll definitely kind of give it a go. But yeah, and then it's been pretty good. All things considered, it's been pretty good already, and I am enjoying it. I'll talk more about the stage where I am in a minute. But yeah, so there we go. I'm gonna have a break. Then gonna have a bit of food, and then I'll push on for an hour before I get another break essentially. But yeah, let's show you how these models are doing. Okay, so here are my merry little band of warriors. Let's see what I've done. So, as I said to you this morning, what I wanted to get done by this stage was the armour. So the armour's now been finished on all of them. So if you look in there at the greave, the Doomball Brown has now had a little glaze of Guilliman flesh to kind of give that kind of hopefully slight leathery shine, and all the gold. That's also the same as that in that kind of cloak clasp, and in the bits on the gauntlets. And then all the gold areas have also had a glaze of Seraphim Sepia to kind of tone them down a bit, which I think looks nice. What I've also then done is on all of them I've done the fur. So the fur wasn't done. If you look at the helmet and the cuffs and just above the boots. And so that was painted Corex black, is it? I can never remember, it's grey, but it's called Corex black, I think. Corvus black. The fur was painted and then highlighted with Storm Vermin fur, and then highlighted with Rakarth flesh. And I'm not going to lie, that phase made me lose the will to live a bit. My eyes went really, really screwy doing that highlighting on the fur on all of them, and I actually had to stand up in the middle of that and get a cup of tea just to break it up. It actually looks quite nice on camera if I'm looking at the fur, but when I was holding it in my hands, I think it almost looks too light, and I did wonder, as horrific as that stage is, if I need to much later towards the end of the whole process just go back in with a dark brown like an Eshin grey and maybe just paint some shading into that. So I'll kind of see how they look when everything else is done. But at the moment, that's how I feel. That's what I feel I kind of need to do. Whether or not I'll be able to deal with it. We'll have to wait and see. So there we go. I also did a little bit of work on the shields because the shields haven't been done, which is just to kind of bring them up to speed with the rest of the gold. Essentially, it's just Liberator gold on there, and then you put some Seraphim Sepia in there. But yeah, you can hopefully see that's what I've done today. So I've basically finished the gold, finished the red leather armour, and finished the fur, all done this morning. So that's where I am. As I said, I'm about to have a break. What's left? The two big things that are left, the two big parts, are the coats. So they're kind of brown. It's Doomball brown there. Overcoats, which I've got to do, and the cloak trim. So the cloak trim needs, I'd say, at least 2 highlights. I'm going to do on that. So those are the big areas that still need doing. And the cloak trim, I don't know how I'm doing it. There were 3 areas I was worried about when I was painting these guys. It was the reds, the golds, and the cloak trim. The reds came out really, really well, really easily. The golds came out really, really well, really easily. And I'm now hoping, against hope, that the cloak trim just kind of comes out really, really well, really, really easily. But those are the 2 big areas I've got to do, which I still feel like will take quite a lot of time. And then after that, I've just got what I think are a bunch of kind of small little bits that I'm not really worried about, that I'm going to try and kind of knock off. So they are, for example, let's get an archer because I'll need to do it on an archer. We've got the arrows. So the flights of the arrows and the shafts of the arrows will need to be painted. We've got the scabbards. They're just the brown in the middle needs to be painted. We've got the bows, the actual, that'll probably be done the same as the scabbard or something. And then right inside, I haven't done any of their hair. You can see by the face and by the strap, I need to do a few highlights on the hair. Now, none of those areas are particularly long, but they obviously all need to be done. So that's where I am, which is pretty good. Oh, and I'll have to, on this dude here, I'll have to paint the banner. I'm going to have to do a few highlights on that. I'm thinking that'll be the same as the cloak trim, essentially. But I'm pretty happy with that as to where I am with it. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it still could get done tonight, maybe, if I could, by the end of the Hobbit at least. But we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I'm happy with how they're looking. I think they're coming along nicely. I think I've shown you all of them at this stage, but that's where they are. Still a lot of work to do, but still enjoying it, and pleased with the effect as they're coming along. So yeah, time for a bit of a break, and then I'll be back at it. Okay, so it's update time. I'm back. I had my lunch and I've been back at it, and I've been painting for the last hour, getting out of Bayonne let them go, and they got to Mirkwood. Gandalf rode off, and they went through into my favourite section, the entire Hobbit story, which is Mirkwood, which is really cool. Again, really interesting to hear that again, and there's I think the Mirkwood section in the Desolation Smaug is awesome. But you kind of forget, I think, about all the kind of the lights in the forest and the various parties that the Wood Elves hold, that they pull them off the path and all that kind of stuff. So it's interesting to hear that that slightly different version. And I've just got to the fight with the spiders as Bilbo's trying to rescue him. I said obviously I wasn't going to stop until I got to the end of a chapter, but I've got to because it's 3:30. That's the end of my painting day. And what I've been working on, I think just before my sort of lunch break, I told you that I had 2 big bits to do, which were my jackets and my cloaks. And I can't really show you them here, but I'll show you them tonight when I start again. I started working on the jackets. So the brown kind of tunics that they wear, again, managed to find a good recipe for that. And so I've actually done 3 highlights on those jackets, and they're nearly done. I've got 3 highlights done on all 9. Sorry, 2 highlights done on all 9, and then the 3rd highlight done on the 4th. So those jackets, on 4 of them, sorry. Those jackets are very nearly done, which is really good and really encouraging. I just checked in. I've got 5 hours left of the Hobbit, so I think I've painted for about 4.5 hours in this block today. Remember, I was saying that kind of best case scenario, what I was really hoping for was 5 hours. So I think that's pretty good going, in all honesty. I've done 4.5 hours, and I've got 5 hours left of the Hobbit. Now, if you remember right at the start, I said I was going to try and paint from 9 to 12. Assuming that happens, that then leaves you with 2 hours, so it's going to be like painting from midnight to 2 if I want to finish it. So we'll have to see, because as of yet I don't know if I'm necessarily going to be able to paint from 9 to 12 and all that. But I think what we'll do, like I said, is we'll get to midnight and make a call on it then. But yeah, I'll show you I'll show you them maybe when I've done when I return. So now, as I said, it's now 3:30, so I've got about kind of at least 5 hours off doing family stuff, and I'll be back on it tonight, and I'll show you the kind of the coats then. But really enjoyed this. It's going well. I'm pleased with what I've got done. And could they be finished in 5 hours time? Yes, I think they could. I genuinely think they could. Not to say that means I'll finish them tonight, because I don't know if I've got 5 hours painting, but I do think I could get them finished in 5 hours. The great unknown is the cloak trims still. That's the bit that I haven't painted on any model, so I don't know how long it takes, and I haven't worked out the colour scheme, so I don't know kind of how to paint them. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased with how things are going. I'm enjoying it, and yeah, I'll go and have some fun with my family, but then look forward to getting back on this tonight, and I shall see you there. Okay, so I'm back. It is 9:30 p.m. and I'm about to get started again. So I've done all my daddy duty stuff, done the school run, done the bath, done the bedtime, done the dinner, cleaned the kitchen, all those sorts of things. And I'm now going to crack on. About half an hour later than I thought I'd be starting, but that's fair enough. So, brief recap on where we are for me as much as for you guys. There's 5 hours left on The Hobbit. It's now 9:30. And I also think I've probably got about half an hour of kind of chore stuff to do that I'm going to have a break from at some point. So that would mean, let's say it's 10 o'clock, to listen to the whole Hobbit, I'm going to have to finish at 3 a.m. It's probably not to happening, is it? Even by my standards. I think I can probably, hopefully, comfortably paint till about 1. And then I'll sort of see how I'm feeling, but I don't think I'm getting to 3. If it was 2, I might be feeling like I could push it, but I don't think I'm getting to 3. So what I'm going to do is paint for a bit. I just need, as I mentioned in the last clip, I just need to finish the kind of final highlight on their brown jackets. Then I'll choose something else to paint, maybe the quivers, I'm thinking maybe the hair, finish those bits off. And then when I've finished a few small bits like that on all the models, I'm going to have a break, do my chores, and then come back to it, and then probably tackle the last big bit, which is the cloak trim, which I am quite clearly putting off at this point. So that's where we are. Got the evening session. I'm going to crack on to my Freddo sent for me by Mr. Cloak. So get me through. Tastes like a chocolate frog. I'll see how we do. Alright, so let's check in on the models and see how we're doing. Let's start with our little swordsman down here. So I think I was talking about having done the jackets with you last time, but I hadn't actually talked you through. This is a dreadful model to show you the jackets. I use this model to show you the shield. That's what I've come up with for the shield. Light's not great in here, sorry. If I pull this forward a bit better. But the shield, I've gone for the Castellax bronze base. It's then shaded with Agrax. I then put Carroburg Crimson into the recesses, where it's meant to be red. I then painted the raised areas with Liberator Gold, and then I painted the very rim with Runefang Steel. I tried to match the actual shield from the movie as much as possible. I've got one more over here, which I painted up for my banner bearer. Shows how it came out. I was quite pleased with that, I think. Looks quite nice. Lovely detail on them, but you know, pain in the arse. I've only had to do 2 for this batch, but I've got 10 shields on the next batch, so I'm dreading it. So we've got that. And then if I try and find one that shows off the coats a bit better, there we go. So you can see the leather in there. So I think last time you saw them, they were in painted Doomball brown, the brown over jacket tunic thing. I then highlighted it with Bugman's Glow, which is the kind of pinky edges you see. A lot of glare on here. I then did a kind of Rhinox hide shade on it, painted into recesses, and then a Doomball brown highlight to a mid-tone to kind of bring it out. Hopefully it looks quite nice. See this dude here, same sort of thing. I've also tonight done the scabbards. So you see here the shafts of the arrows are painted Gawthor brown, and then I painted Dryad bark in between the gaps in the shaft. I'm not even sure if that'll read. So you get those kind of dark lines on the shafts, and then the flights were painted Rakarth flesh, and then picked out with pallid witch flesh. Get another arch over there. Get these kind of white flights. Quite a nice model. This guy, he's holding the arrow, so you can see the arrow there, Gawthor brown arrow. Holding the flights in there, which is quite nice. What else have I done? I've also done the shoes. Have just had a layer of Dryad bark to kind of tidy them up a bit. The bows have just had a layer of Rhinox hide. They might get more. I did the scabbards, which was let's try and find a scabbard that's on display. There you go. That was painted Gawthor brown, shaded with Dryad bark, and then highlighted with Baneblade brown. And I've done the hair as well. I split it into 2 colours. Hopefully you can see in here, this guy kind of went up through, I think it was like Steel Legion Drab and then Xandri Dust to make some blonde guys. This one will have different hair, and the other ones I went for these kind of ginger guys. I was pleased with how the face on the banner turned out with his hair. The little banner bearer, I think he's looking really nice. Pleased with how he's coming out for a command figure. There we go. Slightly fancier scabbard on him. Very nice, very nice, very nice. Was that all the bits I've done? I think jackets, hair, quivers, scabbards, and the brooch. Yeah. So that was basically as far as I've got. That's how they stand now, and I will show you. I'm really pleased. As you can see, they're very, very nearly finished. What's left to do is the cloak trim, which I still haven't highlighted up, and the little tassels. Little tassels that I think are what put kind of the details that people dread. But you see, you've got these little tassels hanging off them, and then beyond that, I think they're done. The banner's really irritating because the banner also has the banner front itself, which needs to be painted up probably in the same way that the cloak trim is. But I'm kind of counting that as cloak trim, but it will need painting. But I think that's it. I don't think I'm going to paint that darker line into the fur that I mentioned earlier in the day. I think I'm quite happy with how it looks now. I still might paint in, I think I mentioned this way back in a different vlog actually, I might still glaze in some Tuskor fur or Bugman's Glow into the faces very lightly, just to pink them up a bit towards at the very end of the process. I haven't quite decided. But if you assume the cloak trim's done and those tassels are painted, I think we're there. Now as I look at these, I think that's everything. And you know what? I've got to say I'm very happy. I'm not going to talk too much about this now because I'm going to wait till they're damn well finished before I start talking about whether I'm happy. But yeah, we've only a couple of bits to go. I've got to say, pretty pleased with how these are coming out. So there we go. That's the state of play on the models at the moment. Oh, I don't think I'll particularly pick that guy up. But just what time is it and how did we do? Well, let's cut the camera and I'll let you know. No, I won't, because I've got something else to show you. I just want to show you this guy, because on this guy I have painted the cloak trim. So this was following the cloak trim guide that I'll put one of our patrons, Reese Taylor, suggested to me, and this was just using a base of XV88 and then a highlight of Baylor Brown. And I've just done it on one to see how it looks, and I'm pretty pleased with it. I think it looks good. Is it exactly what I wanted? I don't know. I wonder if it's a bit too yellow, a bit too mustard. Please don't let me know either way, because by the time you see this it's far too late and I've made the call. I'm honestly at the point time-wise where I might, I'm thinking, well, just do it because at least you've got a recipe. But I'm not quite sure, and I am tempted to just give it another highlight of Xandri Dust or Talon Sand, just to kind of, you can see the kind of colours there to kind of pale it down a bit. I think I'm thinking more this one. Pop it on. It's going to be a job for the next stage, but I just think it needs something else to lighten it up a bit. But this guy's been my test model throughout the whole process. He was the one that I first stumbled across the red a long time ago. Yeah, it could be fine. It might be fine. But I think if I just put one more highlight on that's quite a pale yellow, I think it might really make it pop. So that's what I'll be trying to do soon. But nice to know that I've at least got one cloak trim done. It's buttons o'clock. Another treat from Adam. They're bloody hot. They've been in the fridge. So, Here we go. I've just recorded that clip of the close-ups, so that's right now. And it's 1:20 in the morning. I don't think I did another one of these since I started the evening session. I don't think I actually had that pause. But yeah, 1:20. So I've been painting for 4 hours. I started at 9:30. Just under 4 hours, probably about 3.5 with a few breaks for crucial tea. So the stage that you've just seen me get to with the models is that guy with his cloak trim. That's it. This camera's up, I'll turn that off. Bear with me, am I gonna light up? No? Alright, let's pop this on. Let's see if I can slide this back. It might be a little better. But this guy here, with his cloak trim done, that's where I am. That's the stage I've got to. And it's 1:30 and I'm calling it a night. This is the end of Dale Day 2022. I have just got in the Hobbit to Fire and Water. If you have a look, we read that I've got 2 hours and 5 minutes left. So that would mean I'll be finishing at 3:30, which is just a no-no. So I'm calling it here. But I'm not calling the vlog here because I will finish it. But more of that in a minute. But yeah, so this evening, the dwarves got captured by the elves. They escaped in the barrels. I got to Lake Town. I went to the mountain. Bilbo went in. And just now, Smaug's just gone off to burn Lake Town. Spoiler. And the dwarves are going, oh, this is cool. Got our treasure back. And it's been wonderful. It's been wonderful listening to it. But I love that book dearly. I love it so much. It's probably my favourite book. But the films did so much good stuff. Here, get into the mountain. And just the realisation, I've said this before, the realisation they don't have a plan. They don't need a burglar. There's no plan. They don't have any sort of idea of what they're doing. They're just going to go there. Bilbo goes down, steals a cup, and Smaug starts mocking him, saying, what's your plan? Steal like a piece of treasure, like one a day or something, and gradually take it away. They don't have any form of plan. They don't need a burglar. It's ridiculous. It's a great book, but it's ridiculous. And then the Arkenstone is just something that Thorin wants. He just wants it, and he gets really angry about it. Doesn't mean anything, it's just a pretty jewel. And the change in that to make, in the film they're not going to get the treasure back, they're going to get the Arkenstone because the Arkenstone allows Thorin to gather the armies, allows him to be the king, gather the armies and march, and then leave with the Arkenstone, build an army, march on Erebor. Makes so much more sense. Just makes so much more sense. And explains why I need a burglar. The whole point is Bilbo's going to go and get the Arkenstone and then leave. And it's a huge, it's just such a better story. And one of them is a kid's story, a kid's fairy tale story where it doesn't matter, of course. But in terms of the, a sensible narrative, it's so much better what I did in the film. I'm also reminded whenever I listen to it how awful the dwarfs are in the book. They're horrible. They're constantly, every single time, they send Bilbo in first. They always like, right, you go and check that out, you go and check that out. There's even that wonderful line that Tolkien writes about dwarfs saying, well, don't be too hard on them, they're not great. It says dwarfs aren't heroes. No, that'll make a lot of people angry. He says that, Tolkien says that. He's like, but they pay Bilbo to do a job, so fair enough really, isn't it? They're pretty decent people, but don't expect too much from them. And if you don't expect too much from them, you'll never be disappointed. And then they're horrible to Bomba. I've never really picked up on quite how mean Thorin in particular is to Bomba. There's a lot of fat shaming in this. It says to him, Bomba goes, I'm sick of it, I'm always last, I'm sick of being last. And Thorin goes, it's because you're so fat. You shouldn't be so fat. I think it's like, you shouldn't be so fat. But as long as you're this fat, I'm going to keep putting you last. It's horrible. But But no, it's been cool. I love the Merkle section. It's my favourite. It's my favourite part of the story. Possibly my favourite part of the whole Middle Earth saga. So listening to that while I was playing along tonight with the elves and the barrel escape is just wicked. I've got my tea towel here. Where is it? I think it's over there. I got this at the Tolkien exhibition in Oxford. It's this fabulous piece of artwork, which is Bilbo arrives at the heart of the Raft Elves. I've actually got it on a pillow somewhere. That's probably a bit easier to see. But this was one of the kind of primary pieces of artwork they were using for that exhibition. But I love this. You got Bilbo flying down the river, all the barrels. Beautiful. But yeah, that whole section is great. I love it. Of course, very, very different to the films, but no, it's been brilliant. It's been really, really enjoyable listening to it. And 2 hours left to conclude the story. So I think it's hard to remember now, but I think I said the absolute best case scenario would be that after I woke up today, I'd be able to paint for 9 hours, like 5 in the day and up to 4 at night, which would plus last night's unexpected journey would give me 10 hours, which would mean I'd have half an hour spare. And I think that's absolute best case scenario. I think going really well. And I think I've painted for 7.5 today. Because I think that's about where I am with the hour. So unexpected journey, unexpected party for an hour last night, and then 7.5 today. So 8.5 hours painting, which is really, really good. I'm really pleased with that. It's been really good. It's annoying not to finish the audiobook in a day, but I don't think that was ever really on the cards. I just didn't have the time to do it. But it's been great and it's been productive. And these guys are nearly finished. Now, I showed you where they are in the previous step. The only slightly annoying thing is, I think they're still a good few hours away from being done. You remember the main thing was that I was hoping these would be done tonight. I suppose I've got 2 more hours I suppose. But the cloak trim on this guy took me 15 minutes to do the 2 layers. So that's 8 more of those, which is 2 hours. Then there might be another highlight, that's 3 hours. Then there's the tassels, that's 4 hours. And then there might be a kind of there might be another coat on the bows, and there might be another kind of shading coat on the skin. So I think we need to put about another 5 hours into these guys or something to get them finished. We'll have to see. I've got to do the banner as well. Like I say, we'll see. It might not be. It might be that the cloaks go faster than I expect, but it's going to slightly outlast the Hobbit. Now, I do have some painting time tomorrow, so I will be finishing this vlog tomorrow. And I'll finish the vlog when I finish the Hobbit audiobook. But whether or not I finish the models tomorrow, I don't know. But we'll have to wait and see for that. But yeah, that's where I am. I know I'm being rubbish. I know this is a terrible end to things tonight. But I'm pretty happy. But I'm pretty tired. But I'm really happy. Really enjoyed it. Really proud of what I got done today. And I've got hope that that I can finish the project in time for doubles. It's not guaranteed by any means, but I've got hope. So yeah, that's what we're up to. It's basically the same time that I called it a night 24 hours ago. And I'm not going to say goodbye because I will be back tomorrow to kind of sign this off and finish the kind of Hobbit audiobook. But yeah, good fun. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, so hello and welcome to Dale Day 2, the epilogue. Indeed, I signed off very late at night when I was very tired last night, but it is now the day after. I've got 2 hours left of the audiobook and I'm going to plough through these. So I'm going to finish the audiobook. I don't think I'll finish the Dale Warriors in the next 2 hours, but I'll hopefully make some successful progress and then I'll show you the state of affairs afterwards. So yeah, where did we get to? Is Smaug about to die? I can't remember. Fire and Water. I think Smaug might have just died, or maybe he's about to die, I can't remember. And then we're going to get into, let's have a look, Then going to get into the Gathering of the Clouds, a Thief in the Night, the Cloudburst. So we've basically got the Battle of 5 Armies to come and the journey home. So the exciting, thrilling denouement for the next 2 hours. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. A bit more paint on these and hopefully some good progress. And I'm going to finally tackle the cloak trims. So we'll see how we get on with that. I'll see you soon.
You are a very fine person, Mr. Baggins, and I am very fond of you. But you are only quite a little fellow in a wide world after all. Thank goodness, said Bilbo, laughing, and handed him the tobacco jar.
Ta-da! There we are at the end of all things. We have reached the end of the Hobbit audiobook, which I'll have a couple of hours of work today. So there we go, got to the end. It's been good. It's been good progress this today. I did the first layer of the cloak trim on all of my models, which did take the majority of the time, as I said it would. I can't remember if I said this, but I was saying last night, I think I was deciding to add another layer to the cloak trims, and I am going to do that. So last night I did, what was it, XV88, then Baylor Brown, and I'm also adding a Xandri Dust highlight to it, so a third highlight. So I've done the first highlight on all those cloak trims, so they need 2 more. And then what I also went and did is went and did the little tassels, because I couldn't bear to just keep doing cloak trims for the 2 hours. So I went and did those tiny little tassels, the last bits of details that hadn't been done. And for those I just did Baneblade Brown and then a top highlight of Flayed One Flesh. So they're quite bright, which is fine. But that really makes them kind of pop. It's a little bit of extra bright light colour in there. So there we go. So the Hobbit, it's brilliant. Last 2 hours was great. Went through the whole Battle of 5 Armies and the journey home, which is cool. It's got that melancholy feeling to it, doesn't it? I was really interested to go back and see the reverse of the film, where particularly at the start of the battle, or in the siege as it were, Bard just wants to kill everyone. Bard's like, let's lay siege to the mountain, and it's Thranduil or the Elven King who's going, no, anything at all we can do to avoid bloodshed is the way forward. So it's nice to see that kind of reverse of that relationship from the film. And there's always a line that I feel like is really missed out, that they have the wonderful line, they have the wonderful scene in the tent in the film where Bilbo brings the Arkenstone, does that wonderful, if I'm not mistaken, this is the Hobbit that escaped from my dungeon. He goes, oh, yes, sorry about that. And in the book, after he offers him the Arkenstone to try and save everyone, the Elven King says to him, Bilbo, you're more worthy to wear that coat of mithril than many who have looked more comely in it. I always love that line. I just I know Thranduil's a bit more of a hard ass in the film, but I just wish they'd included that in the film. I think it's a really cool line, a nice little acknowledgement of what Bilbo's doing and what he's risking and all that. But it's good. It's fun. I'm always a bit saddened, but I know that people find the Battle of 5 Armies quite divisive. Between, the role Azog had, the role Bolg had, Bolg getting killed by Legolas instead of Beorn and stuff. But I always like at least Fili and Keely, they got their moment, they got their big death scene. No doubt people are furious because they don't like Tarion, they don't like Bolg, and they don't like Legolas. But Keely gets quite a dramatic death scene. Was in the book, he's just dead, isn't he? Bilbo wakes up and he goes and watches Thorin die, and then they all carry on, and then what seems like a few pages later or a few minutes later, they're just going to say, oh, Fili and Keely were dead too. He got chucked away. It's brutal storytelling. We kind of are all used to that story now after so long, obviously, but actually stop and think about it, a kid's book, where suddenly, right at the end, 3 of the main characters just die. It's weird. Imagine getting to the end of Return of the King and Legolas, Aragorn and Boromir, Gimli even, Legolas, Aragorn and Gimli, all just die. Off screen, off page, you don't see them die, just after the panel, oh yeah, Aragorn, Legolas and Gimli were dead. It's just weird. But yeah, it is the nature, I suppose. But it's good, and I love the journey home. You hear a lot of Billy Boyd's The Last Goodbye song in the a lot of the lyrics from that are in the song that Bilbo sings on his way home. But yeah, it's a brilliant audiobook. It's a brilliant reading by Andy Serkis, and kind of finishing that here from where I know I started about how much I enjoyed that when he did the Hobbitathon. But it's been a brilliant sort of just over 24 hours and 2 bonus hours to listen to it all back, and it's been really, really good. So I really enjoyed that. In terms of the models, we're really nearly there. I said I think I said at the start of the video, I hoped that these guys would be done by the end of the day. They're not, but they're very, very close. As I said, the cloak trim, most of them need 2 more cloak trims on them. I'm counting the banner in the same way because I'm just for ease, I'm just painting the banner in exactly the same colours. So that's just like bonus cloak trim, as it were. And that's it. That's the only bits I need to paint. I'm still thinking I might just do that glaze, that dark pink Tuscal fur glaze for the flesh, just in some of their cheeks by their straps possibly, just to kind of pink that up a bit. But I'll have to see how that goes. But that doesn't take very long. But I think that's all that's left to do on them. I've been kind of looking through, and I think that's really it. So we need about 2 hours more, I think, to work on it. So my hope is that they're going to be finished today. So whilst this is the end of the audiobook, it's not the end of the vlog, because it's madness now to not show off these finished models on the vlog. So I'm going to finish these hopefully tonight, and then show off the finished result of them. Fully finished on the vlog, and that'll be a good ending for it, and then sign off and look forward to the next part in my Dale Odyssey. But there we go. Hobbit Day, Dale Day, and Hobbit Day is over, and I look forward to finishing these this evening. Okay, so I am delighted to say that they are finished. Hooray! So let's have a look. I can't remember the last time I actually recorded a clip for this. But I think I was saying I just need to finish off the trims of the cloaks basically. But let's show you what I've done. So here we go. The cloaks have had their 2 extra levels of highlights done, which was Baelor Brown and Zandri Dust. I think I hadn't done the face glaze, so you probably won't be able to tell this, but on all these hands, right in the palm and along the edge of the face, I glazed it with incredibly watered down Bugman's Glow, and I'm really glad I did that, as it just knocks some of those highlights back a little bit. I did touch up the cloaks, so I got my dark red colour, sorry I can't remember which one that is now, but the final colour I used for it, and just nipped around in case any of the cloak trim had got out. And then the final step I made was to actually do a 4th highlight, if you can imagine, on the cloaks, particularly around the front, in a Shabty bone. I'm just going to show you maybe on this guy, and hopefully we can see that maybe you can see that kind of pale cream on the cloak trim. So there's actually a 4th highlight on the cloak trim, which is a little excessive, but I'm really glad I did it because I think it really pops. So this is the finished effect of the Warriors of Dale. So I'm going to talk you all through everything I need to say whilst only showing you one model, but let's just run through these guys. Obviously they're not on their bases yet. You saw the bases arrive at the start of this video actually. But I haven't glued them on because I think I told you I'm going to do the Dale Knights first, because I think their poses might be a little more restricted. So it's quite sad, it's a bit disappointing to not quite put them onto their bases when they're finished, but it's only going to be about a week or so hopefully before I am doing it. Really, really pleased with how these guys turned out. I can't remember if it's this video or the last video, but I said the whole point of this army is that it's meant to be, it's not speed painting, it's meant to be a kind of army that I'm really proud of and that I want to keep and work on slowly, and that's what's happened. I'm very, very happy with the effect. I'm very, very happy with the finished colours. Found this one a bit of a struggle to kind of highlight the detail up on the cloak trim because it all seemed a bit kind of blocky and unclear, but I think I got there in the end. Lovely faces, lovely detail on the faces. They're beautiful, beautiful models. Really haven't gone off them as I've been painting them, which is great. You know, you paint something for that long, you put that much time into it, it's quite easy to kind of get sick of them, but that didn't happen. I think they're awesome, I love them, and whilst I've only got the Knights to do in this batch, I am genuinely looking forward to doing another batch of these Warriors whenever I return to this project sometime in the new year. This guy. And the last one is this dude. Such a great model. I think this has always been my favourite of the plastic since they came out. Such a brilliant pose. great hand. Just wonderful. So there we go. You might notice that one's missing. The banner's missing because I put the banner on a base. Oh yeah, I couldn't quite resist, because this one's got, as I said, I've not been putting them on the base because I think those ones have kind of slightly more, I don't know, adaptable poses, but this one with its 3 points of contact, and you didn't, so I decided just for my own, to cheer me up a bit and to give me the sense of what it all looks like finished, I decided to put one on the base. So that is a finished Dale Warrior on his base, which is pretty cool. That's the banner, had exactly the same highlights, same 4 highlights as the banner trim. Beautiful, beautiful face on this model. I was really happy. I know this is a command model, so you want it to be better, but I didn't really spend any more time on this than any of the others, but his face and his cloak just came out really well, almost more by luck than judgment. You can see the kind of horses on his cloak trim there, detail on his face, it's just lovely. Really, really happy with that. And there he is. So there is the one genuinely complete model in my Dale army. So there we go. That's him. They are done. I normally, when I finish models, I put up pictures at the end of the hobby vlog to show them, but I won't be doing this on this hobby vlog because they're not finished on their bases. So what I'll probably end up doing is at the end of the next hobby vlog, when they're hopefully all finished, I'll put finished pictures of them up there. But yeah, very excited. Huge relief to get those done, but definitely a little later than I hoped it would be in the timeline. So we will I'll go over to the chair and we'll sign off this vlog. So there we go. The Warriors of Dale are finished. Just showing them off. I've got one of them here. Waiting to go onto its proper base. It is Friday the 15th of July. I finished them yesterday. I was recording this clip today. Really happy with them, really chuffed, really pleased with them. As I think I said when I was looking at them, I was really happy with how they turned out. But of course, there's no time to celebrate because I have to get cracking on the next set. I can't remember how much of this I've said in various bits, so apologies if that's repetition, but I think I had 31 days when I started Dale Vlog 1. 31 days to paint them all. And obviously I'm doing 2 batches, so you'd roughly hope it was like 15 to 16 days for one batch or whatever. That first batch, which is 9 models, has taken me 16 days. I think it was maybe 17 days, actually 17 days. And which leaves me, as it's now on Friday, and spoilers, it's quite late on Friday and I haven't done any painting, I believe I have 13 days to do the second batch. So the first batch of 9 models took 17 days. The second batch is going to take, I've got 13 days, and this is the current state of the second batch. Not great. If you're counting quickly, there are 10 models on here. They all have shields, which are the most complicated bit of the models to do, possibly. And I've got my 2 heroes in here in Brandon Bard. None of those facts are helpful. But yeah. I'm probably going to be repeating a lot of this material when I start the next vlog, but that's to come. New second batch straight away. But that's the end of this vlog. We can be happy for the moment, we can worry about that in the future, that's future Damian's problem. But we can celebrate the start that my Dale army is well underway now. I have a batch of models ready to go, and I'll be starting next one soon. So my hope is that the next hobby vlog that follows this one will be after doubles. We'll hopefully be showing you the finished Dale Knights and hopefully giving you a bit of a review about the doubles tournament. I don't really know when this is going up, but I'd hope that within 2 weeks, if you've seen this one, you'll see the next one, which finishes the project off for now. All right. But yeah, there we go. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you've enjoyed the Dale day and the following the things through the single day format, and then just tied it up a couple of days afterwards. It was a lot of fun to do. I really enjoyed it, and I'd hope to get a chance to do something like that again in the future. Let me know what you think in the comments, and as ever, and make a prediction. Will I get in this video, in the comments below, will I get the other guys done in time, or will I not? Let me know, it'll be funny. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you soon on Battle Streams in Middle Earth.